Is this thing on? Anyone fancy a Subway? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello and welcome back to Big Mouth and a very, very sunny Cyprus morning. So on today's Saturday, welcome to Saturday's edition of the dceu Daily, by the way. And on today's show, we are talking about this insanity that RT Snyder Cut and Subway did. It's freaking amazing. Ray Fisher says that he would risk his career for Zack Snyder all over again. And Peter Skarsgård has been cast as Harvey Two-Face on Matt Reeves' The Batman. So it's a packed edition of today's dceu Daily. But let's start off with this insane Subway situation. Released the Snyder Cut has become a PR nightmare, a disaster for Warner Brothers now. You know, I've said this before. You got the Brazil Fan Expo. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about Warner Brothers, what they're doing there. On Sunday, right, we'll be delving into the Wonder Woman panel on Monday's edition of the dceu Daily, because they're the time frames that, because everything's different. In America, it'll be Sunday. Here, when I wake up on Monday, it'll be there for me, and we'll delve into it, and we'll cut it up like a slice of cake, and we'll really, really analyse it all. But, as I say, this Sunday in the States, it's the Wonder Woman 1984 panel, and this is the biggest film that Warner Brothers have got for 2020. And I think there's going to be an event on Sunday for the Snyder Cut, from RT Snyder Cut. We're going to be trending. And we're going to be trending higher than Wonder Woman 1984. This has become a nightmare. This has become an embarrassment for Warner Brothers because they've handled this so wrong. I kind of understand Sugihara wanting to deny everything, right? I get it. It was all his decisions that created this nightmare. But when Sugihara goes and Ansanov comes in and they bring Walter Hamada in to run DC Films, and as you know, I think he's doing a tremendous job. But to not change your tact, it's because of the shareholders. It's because of them. They will not relent. And it's become a PR nightmare. A bunch of fans and a director who's made 4, 5, 6 movies in his entire life, right? And by the way, he's made a lot of money for Warner Brothers. And let's be clear here again. Man of Steel was a hit. Batman v Superman was a hit, right? Those films didn't flop, whatever people say. But the Justice League, written and directed by Joss Whedon, yes, written and directed by Joss Whedon, not Zack Snyder, not Chris Terrio, was an absolutely gigantic flop. So let me explain, let me compare to you, right? Let me compare to you. So if you're a married woman watching this, right? So release the Snyder Cut's me, sexy, gorgeous, very well endowed. And Joss Whedon's Justice League is your husband. He's getting fat. He doesn't satisfy you in the bedroom. So you see the potential of the Snyder Cut and you can't wait to see it. And it's like the married women. They can't wait to sleep with me because they know it's going to be amazing and I'm going to show them no mercy. That's the thing. There's the comparison here. But back to the Subway situation. That was a bad comparison. Don't get offended. But married women, if you're interested, you know how to find me. Don't forget, if you want to continue this or any other conversation, you can do on my Twitter at Movies TV Mad. My Vero is at Big Mouth 1, and the extension of this channel is my Instagram, Big Mouth, by the way. So, right, let's go back to this Subway situation. Look, I saw it unfold, and I didn't really get it at first. I wasn't really that invested in it at first, but obviously, once I realised it was all to do with Release the Snyder Cut, I'm in. I'm absolutely in all the way. So I'm retweeting, and all of a sudden, Subway and RT Snyder Cut, because of them, because of us, people have actually eaten. Homeless people have actually eaten. If anyone who's a member of the Fandom Menace, how many people have you fed? All you do is spill hate, right? But we're fighting for something we love, and through that, we're giving to people. We have donated thousands and thousands to suicide prevention as well. We're doing good. Now, you can accuse us of doing all these things to get our end game of the Snyder Cut being released, right? But it doesn't matter what our agenda is. We are still helping people. That's the point. It's a beautiful situation, and we even got Zack Snyder tweeting for the second day in a row. Yes, something's going on here, because he really and truly is back on Twitter, thanking Subway, thanking all the fans who retweeted and made sure these people had a sandwich, a lovely Subway sandwich. I don't even have a Subway here in Cyprus. I know, right? Oh, did you see Chris Wong Svensson from Ping Pong Flicks actually eating a Subway? That was hilarious. I love that guy, by the way. Follow his channel, Ping Pong Flicks. He's really an amazing lad. Calm. He's not aggressive like me. He's not a troublemaker, and he won't sleep with your wives either. So he's a nice guy. So you should definitely go and follow him. But look, this is an unprecedented situation. I mean, of course, Subway started all this, hashtagging release the Snyder Cut, because it's good for them. All these people, retweeting their business, doing a charity thing, right? So they said, I don't know how many retweets they said, because it's all good business for them, but it worked. And it became worth their while to do it. And again, it doesn't matter what their agenda is. They fed a bunch of people who maybe have never had a Subway sandwich in their life. We made those people's lives a little bit better for that split second while they're eating that sandwich. Doesn't matter that we're trying to get this cut released. It's working. Who are Warner Brothers helping? Tell me. Because I tell you what, unless they're going to send us all a free copy of the Joker movie, they can't top what happened yesterday with RT Snyder Cut, the Release the Snyder Cut fans, and Subway. Look, it's insane. It's insane. We're trending every day. Since November the 17th, was it? It's been insane. And it's amazing. It's simply amazing. Everyone's involved. Everyone's talking about it outside of the community. I think we're getting the Snyder Cut. I really do. You know me. Sometimes I say we're not, because depending on what happens. But they're in a really, really terrible situation, Warner Brothers. Because, as I say, these are people with spin doctors and experts. And they don't know what to do. They can't crawl away from this situation. We are out trending things they are marketing at this Brazilian Fan Expo panel. This is disastrous for them. Who's talking about Harley Quinn, the Birds of Prey movie, right? Who? I'll tell you who. Hardly anyone. I'm excited about it. I will promote it. It's a DC movie. I love DC, of course. And I don't want this situation. But at the end of the day, Warner Brothers, your former CEO did something so disgusting, so immoral, and he's brought you to this. And all you have to do is release an epic 3.5-hour version of Justice League. What does it matter? It doesn't matter who's wrong and who's right, does it? We want to see it. You want to make money. I know maybe your resistance brings Zack Snyder back, but this is a problem for you now, because not only are you going to be forced to release the Snyder Cut, you're also going to be forced to bring back Zack. You're going to have to do something here. You are in a terrible situation, because people who didn't like the man, who didn't like their films, didn't like his films, are actually changing their minds about him. I actually saw Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, a guy I had an argument a few weeks ago, and I watched a video of his, bigging up Zack Snyder, bigging up Henry Cavill, admitting he doesn't like his films or Henry's Superman, but admitting they are the right part of history. Now, again, you know how I feel about the fandom menace right now. I was a supporter of them, then I woke up and I realised they were quite a negative movement, and I moved away after my argument with Jeremy. But it was a great video by him, and he's right. Things are changing. Things are changing. All of a sudden, people who didn't want to support Zack Snyder are supporting him. We are going to get this cut. And they are, as I say, they're going to have no choice but to bring him back to do his Justice League sequels and who knows what else. At the end of the day, this is happening. And Warner Brothers, you can kick and scream. You can keep on getting your mouthpieces, the bloggers and the movie media to do their hit pieces. Nothing you do is going to work. Little Zack Snyder and his little fans, like me, spatting our mouths off on hundreds of videos like this every day, have beaten you. And it didn't have to be like this because we respected you, Warner Brothers. You own DC. We've always respected you and supported your content, not just the DC stuff. And you betrayed us. You betrayed Zack Snyder. You betrayed storytelling. But it doesn't mean that's the end of the story. You can change our minds about you. Like the world is changing their minds about Zack Snyder, rightly, we can change our minds about you. And you can be seen as a company and a studio that listens to the people. Because you see what happens, Warner Brothers, when the people stand up. Look at what's going on with France. They want to put the retirement age up and people are demonstrating. Now the media are trying to create this propaganda of violence, but there's a lot of peaceful demonstrations going on as well. And this is exactly the variable comparison with Release the Snyder Cut. They tried to put us out as a toxic fandom full of, religious cult, lunatics. We're not. We're helping people. We're helping people, and we're helping ourselves, of course, because we want this cut released. So congratulations, everyone who made sure those people were fed. Subway, you are one hell of a company for doing this. You made a lot of people happy. You made a lot of people who are hungry and homeless. You made sure they were fed yesterday. And it's an absolutely fantastic thing. Right. So our very own cyborg, Ray Fisher, I love this guy. And do you know what? I'm going to read out what he said because it was amazing. It really was. We are a very, very fortunate fan base to have someone like Ray Fisher, but Zack Snyder picked his people well, in front of the camera and behind the camera. So a fan called Haroon Backsright says Ray Fisher risked his career for Zack. Hashtag never forget. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Ray Fisher quote tweets and says, Fisher Fun Fact Friday. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Now that, my friends, is absolutely fantastic. Of course you would. At the end of the day, not only that he was involved in this film, but that he stood up, wearing I Love Zack Snyder t-shirt and shouting, one of the first people, along with Jason Momoa, who already had an active career, by the way, and could have risked that as well, stood up and said, I love Zack Snyder. It's amazing. And this is what rebellion looks like. At first, we stood up and we were made to look like lunatics. Lunatics. They're just crazy fans. They don't know what they're talking about. There's no Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder's a hack. He doesn't make any good films. Blah, blah, blah. Boring, right? But look where we are. 2 years later. We stood firm. We stood firm. And it's amazing, everyone. And I congratulate myself. But no, I'm not important. You people who educated me and turned my mind around as well. You're absolutely fantastic. Release the Snyder Cut. It's going to happen. But I guess we better talk about the rest of the DCEU or DC films because we don't know if the Batman is going to be part of the DCEU. So, Peter Skarsgård has been cast in Matt Reeves' The Batman. Now, quite a few people have told me this, so take it as read. Yeah, Peter Skarsgård has been cast as Harvey Two-Face in The Batman. Peter's a really, really good actor. I love Peter. I think it's a brilliant piece of casting. And when you look at the cast list of this movie, it's looking really, really impressive. And I just love the way Matt Reeves, announces the next casting. A gif of the person. Hello, Peter. It's amazing. It's brilliant. And, Matt's a very humorous guy. So we don't actually know what everyone's assuming it's going to be this dark noir kind of Batman movie. But what if it's in the spirit of the 1960s movie? He's kind of hinting that. How would I feel if it was a bit campy and it was a bit silly like that? I wouldn't mind. You know what? We've had a hell of a lot of dark Batman movies, Burton's movies. And we've had a couple of campy ones because we've had Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I know. But this could be campy, done properly. Look, whatever Matt's doing, I absolutely support it. And I'm really, really excited for it. So, everyone, did you enjoy the video? Are you excited? Are you believers now? Did you get involved in the Subway retweets? I hope that you did. Please comment down below. Please like, share and subscribe. Please share the channel as well. And I'll be back with any DC breaking news whenever it happens. And if it doesn't, I shall see you tomorrow for more DCEU Daily.